Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Gyan Bhakti channel from Swami Nikhilananda. My humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji Maharaj, to Ram Parivar and all sages and saints, and to each of you, divine soul, watching today's satsang. We are currently studying the Holy Scripture, Mysticism of Ramayana. Commentary is by my Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda ji, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So today, let us study the mystical meaning of the birth of the four sons to King Dashratha in the names of Rama, Lakshmana, Shatrughan and Bharat. So the story of Rama's incarnation or birth in the family of Dashratha has profound mystic implication. According to Hindu culture, God himself comes to the earth plane as an avatara in order to assist his devotees. The appearance of the avatara has two aspects. The subjective aspect in which God manifests within the hearts of the devotee, and the objective aspect in which he manifests as an individual in society to create righteousness, to reduce crime and so on. When your heart is purified, God descends within you in the form of a spiritual experience. The development of vairagya, which is dispassion, and viveka, which is discriminative knowledge, is a manifestation of God within your heart. So our heart tends to expand with love and devotion. Externally, wherever there is great turmoil in the world, God appears in some form to set things right. He has created this whole cosmos, so he knows how to fix things also. In this case, Brahman manifested as Rama and his three brothers. Rama, according to the highest level of mystic understanding, is Brahman, the absolute self. On the relative plane, Rama represents the Sagun Brahma or Lord Vishnu, the absolute with form and qualities. So when God comes down in Sagun Brahman, which means we have attributes and qualities and we can see him and feel him, he appears as an incarnation or avatara of God and is an object of devout meditation for the devotee. And for this reason, we have so much emphasis on idol worship or having our Ishta Devata, any Devata we like, that we feel peace in and we feel the presence of divinity, we can focus on that. So then our feelings go gradually higher and we can get into a meditative state. That is the reason for our Sagun Sakar Roop, or for Lord to incarnate. In addition, in the state of bondage, Rama represents the jiva or individual soul as it struggles to overcome Maya. Maya is cosmic illusion, and attain liberation, which is the goal for all human beings. Thus, Rama is born in the house of Dashratha. Dashratha is a symbol of the human personality. The very name Dashratha literally implies one who possesses a chariot with 10 horses. Das means 10, Ratha means chariots. So the term chariot is an ancient way of representing the human personality, and the horses referred to are the 10 horses being the 5 karmendriyas or organs of action, such as hands and feet, etc. And the 5 jnanendriyas, these are the organs of perception, such as the subtle sense of hearing, seeing, taste, etc. In other words, the soul is born to Dashratha, an individual who is very virtuous, yet bound by the body and limited personality, and to the queen mothers who represent the 3 gunas or modes of the mind. Sattva is purity and luminosity, Rajas, activity or passion, and Tamas, dullness or inertia. Those are the 3 gunas. Nourished by the mothers and loved by the father, the soul evolves and struggles to discover its essential identity. So the mystical impact is to be profoundly understood, because this is our journey through these great personalities. The soul, Rama, evolves in a personality which is a blend of 4 aspects. Wisdom is called Jnana, will dhyana, action, karma, and devotional feeling, bhakti. So these are represented respectively by Rama, Lakshmana, Shatrughan, and Bharat. The four together play the role of the divine presence in this mortal world. So we need all four. That's why they're the four brothers: action, emotion, reason, and will. From another point of view of the four brothers, Rama is the fullest manifestation of the divine self, or Brahman. Lakshmana is the embodiment of cosmic mind. Sheshnag is Lakshmanaji, or Hiranyagarbha. He is the incarnation of the cosmic serpent, whose thousand hoods represent the cosmic thoughts that we constantly emit and sustain the whole universe. So within us also we have that Sheshnag, or called the Kundalini Shakti, through which all these thought waves are constantly emerging. The cosmic mind has an individual counterpart within us in the form of willpower. The will that helps us to reflect, meditate, and advance on the spiritual path. Bharata is the embodiment of purified chitta, or the unconscious mind, and Shatrughna is the embodiment of purified ahankara tattva, the ego sense. These four divine aspects manifest in the palace of King Dashratha, playing the role of children, bringing immeasurable delight to all who behold them. Rama, the divine child. At the time of his birth, before the eyes of his mother, Rama briefly manifested his divine form as Lord Vishnu. He appeared before Kaushalya with four arms adorned with heavenly ornaments. Overcome by this vision, Kaushalya prayed to her divine child, O Supreme Self of boundless glory, how am I to offer praises to you? You who are adored by the Vedas and Puranas, limitless, the ocean of compassion, the abode of all great qualities, you have manifested before me because of your love for your devotees. At that time, Kaushalya's mind became enlightened and Lord Vishnu smiled. So, this is when God is extremely happy with sincere devotees. He comes to us sometimes in our vision and meditation, and sometimes in a human form, in physical human form, as we are seeing in the story of Ramayana. But since he had not yet even began to accomplish the divine works for which he had incarnated, Lord Vishnu explained the purpose of his incarnation to his mother and asked her to withdraw her wisdom for a while and behave like an ordinary mother. But first he gave his Vishnu Roop Darshan with the mace and the conch and the flower and the blessings, all those things to show to her that they had asked for a child like him in their previous birth, and that now he was fulfilling his promise, paying off his debt, in other words. So further, he actually obscured the placidity of Kaushalya's mind, and immediately she cried out, O divine being, divine self, please turn into a little child and give me the delight of being a mother. And we know in Krishna's story the same thing happened. Lord Krishna became a child and Yashoda became the mother. So these scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna, and Ramayana are beautiful, very profound scriptures full of wisdom and devotion and guidance for us human souls, and caught in this material age, this modern age, where we think we know so much, yet we are always lacking peace and getting frustrated and getting away from our roots. These scriptures bring us back and nourish us. Hearing this, Lord Vishnu assumed the form of a baby and started crying loudly as any baby would do. Imagine the Lord, the creator of the universe, doing a Leela. This is why it's called a Leela, or an illusion. It's not real, it's being done for the cosmos, for the show to go on. At a later time in his childhood, Rama gave his mother another vision of his cosmic form, but then withdrew it and appeared as a child once more. At this time, Lord Hari or Vishnu again explained the divine mystery to Kaushalya and then asked her to forget about this vision and not speak about it to anyone. Such is the grace of God. He asked her to adopt the same attitude she had before, that of a devoted mother, loving her tender child. So we will continue this satsang tomorrow. Swami Nikhilananda, Om Tat Sat.